definition to that contained in the local fire code would make more sense. Along the same line, the word dangerous should be defined also. In addition, highly flammable is also vague. I believe there are 4 ratings of flammability based on flash points. Consequently, you need to be more specifically define highly flammable. This paragraph needs to be made more clear and concise. I would also add that this issue would seem to rest more with the fire prevention district than the city. Third, in the same section in paragraph 13, emergency contact information is required. While we do not object to this paragraph in principle, name and telephone numbers should be all that is required. I would further point out that we have provided emergency contact information to our alarm service, and I believe we provide the Wooddale Police Department with the same information in the recent past. In the present form, I would respectfully request that you vote no to the passage of this ordinance for the reasons that I have mentioned. There is great opposition in the business community to this ordinance as it is construed, and I wish to ask that all sections that are objectionable to the business community be stricken from this ordinance.
Who made the motion?
Alderman Mickey Wesley, second by Shockey.
Alderman Wesley, do you agree to delete on page 3 birth date and social security numbers?
It's the legal thing.
Alderman Wesley.
We'll ask the legal opinion.
Mr. Bond?
That is part of your current ordinance, that language that's there. It's relatively common. I know there's heightened concern about it in this day and age of identity theft. Certainly from a legal standpoint, I would have no legal issue with the deletion of the birth date and social security number. I do believe you need the names, addresses of all officers and directors, and if you did need those for some other purpose, there are other governmental agencies that they are required to provide those to in order to secure their employee identification number, as well as certain tax information. But to the extent that you wish to eliminate the birth date and the social security number, I certainly would have no legal objection to that.
Well, then if that's the case, then this ordinance all got to be rewritten.
Alderman Wesley, you can make a motion to approve. You can amend your motion to approve, just deleting the requirement for birth dates and social security number.
So what are we going to do in place of it?
That would be eliminated. It would just have name and address of all officers and directors.
And phone numbers?
That's a different paragraph.
There's another section where you require the phone numbers of contact individuals, and I suggest that remain in there in the event
Okay.
there is an emergency.
Fine.
Alderman Shockey, do you agree?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Question, does the administration use that information for anything? While it's not required from a legal perspective, is it required from like any type of functionality, perhaps, you know, whether it's policing or follow-up on sales tax payments? Is there any functionality that we need the social security number and birth date?
Mr. Daltoy?
I'm going to defer that to Mr. Wilson, and because he was out of the office, out of the room for the first part of that, Alderman Winger, could you, let me paraphrase that. Phone numbers, social security numbers, is that required for any functional purpose of us administering these licenses? Is it just superfluous? Do you know?
The names and, well, I guess there's two different, answers to that. And I apologize, I left for a moment. The key holder information, we need in case the place should catch on fire, we have a break-in, something to that effect. So far as the owners or the board of directors goes, yeah, I suppose if there was a severe issue with the company, if they were violating something and we couldn't make any inroads with, you know, the frontline staff, the secretary there, administrative assistant, one of the foremen, whatever, we may have to elevate it to a higher level to get their attention in case of like illicit discharge, fire code violations, something to that effect. So there could be, I suppose, you know, if we had to get highly involved with one of these companies to resolve an issue, a need to go above just a frontline staff position. And I do have an answer on what you asked me, if you want me to answer
The
that.
question before us, the current motion is to delete from the proposed ordinance the requirement for social security numbers and birth dates. The question is, do you administratively staff need social security numbers and birth dates of the officers and directors of a corporation?
Administratively, I wouldn't think that we would. However, I would like to point out, it is currently in the code, so that is not an addition. That is something that's currently there and has been on the books for a number of years, so.
Back
that's
when it
not
wasn't a
something
problem.
Correct.
Mayor,
Let me see, Alderman Winger, did you have a follow-up?
I'm good, thank you.
Alderman Wesley?
let me bring the police chief up here. Now that I'm thinking of this a little more, let's look at business license for a liquor license, a business for a liquor license. How do they establish, and I just thought, how do they establish a liquor license to do a background check if you don't have their social security number?
Mr. Bond?
What you got before you, there is a separate, under the liquor code, there are separate requirements, and they do have to provide that information in order for a full background check to be conducted. What you got here is simply for the business, for the business licenses. So that information, this is not restricting that information from being provided for them for that purposes.
So more or less, you're saying the business license and liquor license are totally separate issues?
That's correct.
Okay,
Chief,
that's fine.
did you have any additional comments?
Just as a secondary note, there is a positive identification because name checks can be misleading, and it is verified with fingerprint.
On liquor codes? Alderman Cadella?
A couple of things I'm concerned about, considering the state of the world right now, security, and how easy it is to hide and pretend you're somebody you're not. And I don't know why we would want to take out the need for your social security number when this stuff is already on file anyway, the day these companies filed for their federal ID numbers. They've already disclosed that information to a government entity at once. I don't know why we're any less important. So if this amendment is approved by the motioner and the seconder, my final vote for no will not be for the original issue at hand, because I think that this motion was originally correct. It'll be for the amendments. Also, I don't think that 12 or 15, however many businesses, represent accurately the hundreds of businesses that we have in Wooddale. Thank you.
Alderman Coles?
I believe that we should take out the date of birth and social security. Too many IDs have been stolen by social security numbers. So I think it's a good idea that we take it out. I don't give my social security number to nobody. So I'm just letting you know, nobody gets it, especially businesses.
Alderman Lewitton?
I'd like to remind you that part of the objection is not only is it not, it's required for the corporate people, but it's not required for an individual. It's not required for an LLC. It's only required for corporations. There's no reason for a C corporation that's filed with the New York Stock Exchange to give out the social security numbers of executives. Do we really want the social security number of United States General listed in our files? Do we want the legal responsibility of the lawsuit if the stuff is stolen out of Wooddale's database? And wasn't our database breached recently in the water department or something? I know we were breached somewhere, sometime in the last year. There was something.
Alderman Wesley?
We've been talking about this for, what, 25 minutes now? I think everyone went through the discussion already. Could I call the question?
You can, but I think Alderman Winger is seeking recognition, so I will call the question after we have final comments. Alderman Winger?
Thank you. Just clarification on our process, that do we ask for, because I was listening to Alderman Cadella, and I believe the point is good, that we should know if these people are citizens and are qualified to earn money in the United States of America. So are we asking for either the federal tax ID or social security number, or both? What is our process? Because I do believe we should ask for one or the other. And otherwise, we could have anyone setting up shop here.
The way the proposed ordinance reads, it's the name, address, birth date, and social security number of all officers and directors of the corporation. I do think that is excessive. Somebody could file an FOI with the clerk's office and give me the name, the directors, their birth dates, and social security numbers of every director of AAR, the way it reads right now. And we would have to give that to them pursuant to an FOI. So that does get information out there that probably should not be in the public. We can keep it confidentially inside, but somebody can file an FOI with us and ask for it.
Okay, so just as a follow-up, I'm going to vote no on this, but it's not to say I'm not looking to reform it. I do believe that we can work on this. It's just, I wasn't prepared to have a rewrite of the ordinance tonight. So I'd like to, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to table until committee.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Roll call.
Alderman Winger?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
No.
Alderman Cadella?
No.
Alderman Lewitton?
No.
Alderman Coles?
No.
Alderman E. Wesley? No. Alderman Felice?
No.
All right, the motion to table falls, which makes the motion to approve amending and taking out birthday and social security number is on the table. Alderman, please.
Pat, I want to know from you. We need these birth dates and social security. I mean,
In my opinion, you do not.
okay. And when they apply for a business license, they're already given their federal identification number, right? Yes.
Nothing further? Roll call.
Would you please repeat what we're
Motion
voting
is to
for?
approve the ordinance as proposed, but deleting birth dates and social security numbers from the requirement. Roll call.
Alderman Winger?
No.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
No.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Felice?
Yes.
That's approved as ordinance O-09-29. That brings us to item 9, approval of a severance agreement between the City of Wooddale and Bruce Morong. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. On the question. Alderman Winger?
I would like to simply state that I do not approve of a severance agreement between the City of Wooddale and Bruce Moran.
Anything further? Roll call.
Alderman Winger?
No.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
No.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Felice?
Yes.
That item is approved. That brings us to item 10. May I have a motion to approve a resolution of the City of Wooddale, DuPage County, Illinois, approving sublease agreement for vendor service at Wooddale Metro Train Station. There is a motion to approve. Is there a second
Second.
on the question? Alderman Lewitton.
We're talking about the Metro Station. Thank you, the Metro Station right now. I talked to the city manager, Mr. Doutwhite, and we note that the insurance certificate is not quite right yet. I want to amend it to say that the insurance must be brought up to snuff before it's taken care of, but approve it with that. And the other thing is, and I mentioned to the mayor before the meeting, we're asking for a coffee shop at the Metro Station, and, you know, not everybody, not just anybody who goes on the train is going to get a cup of coffee. There's going to be some people that are going to be dropping people off, or some people that maybe see a coffee shop and want to stop for 5 minutes. I would like to see an amendment where we have free parking, 3 or 5 stalls close to the station that would be free parking for no more than 15 minutes stopping for stopping and getting a coffee. Can we have that, please?
I will not amend my motion that way.
The motion on the floor is to approve as is. As regarding the insurance, that's already existing code, and they must comply with our rules and ordinances, so that's already covered without amending the motion on that issue. Anything further? Roll call.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton? Yes. Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Police?
Yes.
That's approved as resolution R-09-20. There is no other business other than to remind everybody of the Veterans Breakfast this Saturday, once again, from 8:30 to 10:30, and the Veterans Memorial Service to follow at the memorial at 11 a.m. We do not need an executive session. There are no items to be referred. There are no other items for information only. May I have a motion to adjourn?
A move.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.